Yeah.
All right. Unapologetic Sports Edition, episode number 2. I am Sir Goodwin Live. Thank you all for tuning in to all the unapologetic outlets on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, all of those. Thank you for your support. We have Unapologetic with Sir Goodwin Live Sports Edition on Mondays, Wednesdays, Unapologetic 2.0 with
TJ and Dijon.
and Fridays you have the Fab 5 Friday nights off an epic 2+ hour episode that I'm glad I wasn't a part of. Tonight we have 2 special guests in the building. We have none other than Mr. Martell Craig. Sir, how are you?
I'm good, man.
Good, thank you.
Where's the audience? The applause.
There is no audience, there's never an audience. Never an audience. And we are joined by his Lock Nation brother, Nation of Islam, Mr. Tony Finn. How are you, sir? These are 2 people that I can talk sports with. I'm not going to talk sports with many. I usually exit the room or something like that, but I'm able to talk sports with these 2. And for 24 straight weeks on an unapologetic episode, we'll have no music. He has his own music in his head. Give it up for Antonio White Sox SC Hooley Reed. Give it up for gentlemen. Your hands.
I clap for y'all.
I didn't know the music was going to
Look, man, I wanted it too. I wanted to magically do this shit.
Listen to the music. Listen to the music.
It's so weak.
Welcome, gentlemen. Remember that the views that you hear are not of Unapologetic as a whole. They are from everybody individually. And I'm joined by 4 middle-aged men who really know their stuff. And we have 2 Cubs fans here, Sir Goodwin. I have my Cubs hat, and Mr. Martell Craig, who was with me when the Cubs won the World Series back in 2016. Tony Finn and White Sox SC. You see, they came to represent tonight. You got your other phone?
Yeah.
Okay, so because we got a man our own stuff. We don't have enough help tonight. So we're going to get started with the NBA All-Star Weekend was this weekend, and it was something as a child I used to look forward to. The slam dunk contest, the 3-point contest, Craig Hodges and all the people. White Sox, what does the All-Star Weekend mean to you?
It's funny because I was like talking amongst my friends, and I was like, man, I think I outgrew the whole experience. Like, you get it, it's for the kids, it's supposed to trickle down or whatever. And then when I watch the game, like I don't watch live TV too often. I just happen to have it on, and I think like in little bits and spurts, I kind of like, okay, that's why the hell I like this shit. The Giannis, alley from Curry, seeing Wade and LeBron, seeing Dirk, the nostalgic feeling came back, if not for one evening, but as far as the whole weekend, I've never been a big fan of the 3-point contest. Like, I don't care who's in it, it's not entertaining to me. In the dunk contest, I mean, once Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine brought it back a couple of years ago, we've been chasing that high.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just so hard to reach that. So, I mean, the weekend in general, I'm really kind of old.
Tony Finn?
I look forward to it.
Why?
I just like the dunk contest. I'm
You
an
still
NBA
like
fan.
the dunk contest?
I
A
was
little originality?
It's not. It's just something that you look forward to. That it's like a tradition every year. It's like I don't watch the Pro Bowl because the Pro Bowl I never grew up watching that.
Okay.
NBA All-Star, you look forward to that because you see the best players in the world play against each other, and you only get to see that once a year. So regardless of how terrible it is, it's still, you know.
Okay. Chuck, how you doing, sir? Angela Johnson, yes. Chicago will host the NBA All-Star Weekend next year. We were just talking about that before we went live, and Yeah, I'm not excited about it at all. I feel like it was in Charlotte this year. Tim, what are your thoughts on NBA All-Star Weekend?
Like he said, I used to really look forward to the All-Star Weekend as a kid. Not only NBA All-Star, the Pro Bowl, even baseball All-Star game and the home run derby.
Mm-hmm.
But since I got older, it seemed like it's a lot more watered down. I would say that has something to do with the exposure. Like, we see superstars all the time now. Back then, if you didn't have cable, you didn't really see them unless they came on NBC. So, you know what I'm saying? It was really something to see all the superstars on one court competing against each other. Now you have them hanging out. You know, they come through the AAU system. They together during the summer. You know, you got social media. So it's really not. It's really not rare to see them together,
it's
right? So
special.
it don't really have that special feeling. And
You feel like you're on their level now.
no, I wouldn't say I'm on that level, but you just really understand sports as a whole. Kind of like we outgrow Christmas in a sense. You know what I'm saying? You outgrow really.
Jesus is the reason for the season. So
And
you can never
See now, you had your
Sports and
reverend
politics
on
and
2 days
religion,
ago.
man.
We ain't on that tonight. But I mean, you just kind of like, you kind of outgrow when you really understand that sports is a business. That's another thing. Like, you know that, you know what I'm saying, they not heroes you worshiping. They athletes, they talented, they train, they making money, they having a good time. So you happy to see them all come together, but you kind of outgrow it. I ain't really looked at dunk contests. I looked at it here and there. But to their credit, you can only be so creative. So I give them props for competing. But what I would like to see is superstars that can actually dunk, get out there and try. Like, we saw Paul George doing a 360 in the game. We saw Giannis catch the hoop and doing what they do. Like, those superstars can do that stuff too. So even if it's not to the degree of difficulty that these other no-name players are doing, like, we will appreciate them just trying.
What about, this just came to my head, I don't even think that the dunk contest now should be restricted to just NBA players. If you're a good dunker and you can do it, and you from Rucker Park or Sewell Park, high school, I think even the high school boys and the college boys, I think that would give a different element to the dunk contest now, because there's really nothing more you can do except use props. What do you all think about that idea? I think the coin thing.
I like the idea, but I think it wouldn't work out because it's an NBA All-Star dunk contest, and I feel like those guys might show up. Those guys, the NBA guys, and I think it might be the whole ego thing, because you get those guys get to doing what they do on YouTube, and it's gonna be, and then here come the NBA players doing something basic.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the top of the town. You know, we playing with egos. I like the idea, but I don't think it'd be.
Paul, Boss, what's up, sir? My second baseman says that he felt like the dunk contest was yesterday during the game, and we have TJ and Greg watching as well.
What's up?
What do you think?
I want to say hi to Christina Person. Princess Jiggins out here. Jinx, a loyal Unapollagetic fans. Princess says the dunk contest hasn't really been good lately. And I want to kind of like side with Tony a little bit, not on the strength of that they are upstage, the NBA players. It's just, no one would know some guy from Rucker Park. Would you care? Like some guy that walks in off the street. And I also want to go with Martell when he says lesser players. Like, the dunk contest on the other side kind of can springboard your career. Nobody knew who Aaron Gordon was. I mean, people like us knew, but you saw like, who was Aaron Gordon? Who was Zach LaVine when they had that legendary dunk contest about 3 years ago? I mean, I know it's not going to catapult your career, but the reason why I kind of respect what he says, like the All-Star Weekend, why you should let the lesser known players come is because that's their breakout. But we know who Giannis is. Mm-hmm. We know what Paul George can do. Now, I agree with you wholeheartedly. If you got LeBron, Giannis, Donovan Mitchell, etc., in one arena to do a dunk contest, I think it'll catapult the shit back to top. But I mean,
I don't think they're gonna do it.
They would.
It's gonna be the
but
same.
you know what? Even I don't think you need the stars, because that year Aaron Gordon did it, Zach LaVine did it, and they wasn't household names.
True.
And they put on the show. They just had the creativity that you expected. I think nowadays it's like dude jumping over that plane. It's more of a showmanship, which makes it lame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, let me jump over somebody. You know, a lot of these guys just do it just to put on a show. Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, they actually studied their dunks. Like Zach LaVine was doing stuff.
And Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon came out of nowhere because it was pretty dead before they did, and now it's going back. Let me ask, would you all switch the dunk contest tale from the main event on Saturday and make the 3-point shootout the main event? Would you switch it around?
No. Even though the 3-point competition usually has more skilled players that you know can shoot threes, I think they have to qualify, shoot a certain percentage.
Yeah.
Even the people that complain about the dunk contest and saying it's garbage, I ain't gonna watch, they gonna tune in again next year. Because it's that suspense, you know what I'm saying? And I think for me, we had that nostalgic perception of it. We saw the legends, you know, Mike, Dominique, Drexler, Kobe, like Vince. So that's why I think that the superstars should be in it. You talked about the amateurs being in it, but it's like, on one hand, they already had that exposure. The amateurs, they already on YouTube, they already on live or whatever. It's the stars.
That's not NBA on TNT. Though.
But you can still see it. Like you think about stars that actually dunk in the league. What can you go and search them doing, you know, decent dunks? Now,
would you really want to see LeBron in the dunk contest?
I would. I want to see what he can do.
But he does nothing intriguing. He does nothing that's like spectacular compared to the dunk that you see on YouTube.
That's in game. Like when he gives him time to actually play. Did you see when he was with Miami? Like they were showing like he used to do like a whole dunk contest routine before the game. He does some of those dunks that he was doing like we never seen before.
He does one dunk.
No, I'm not. I am referring to that. He was doing one.
Would you switch it around? Would you switch it around?
Not at all. I mean, as Montana said, like the 3-point contest can only be so exciting.
It's a 3-point shooter's game now.
And I get that. And I don't want to sound like an old man trapped in the era. Like it's 3-point shooting, whether it's creative or not, it's still athletic as hell. And whether I think really what the problem is, and the only real difference between Gordon and LaVine's dunk contest is the one try. We can't, like when you can't pull that dunk off on one try, you lost me. And I know it's a hard thing to ask.
Dave Robinson did 14 tries. So that's why they.
So you think one? So you don't think you should get at least 2 tries?
I think that you should, but I think why we remember Gordon and LaVine was because it was executed on the one. Why we remember Carter and Joe, they were doing it on the first attempt. Seeing what you were gonna do and then you do it, it's kind of like you would get the mercy judge to give you the 7 and the 8. That's the thing. Like Diallo, like he really jumped over Shaq. You saw the replay. It looked like he springboarded, but it was just a simple touch. His dunks were one takes. And this is what it comes back to one take. It's no creativity, but looking at what he was on, like, man, now seeing John Collins jump over an airplane, it's really like watching a big man
Did that
jump.
really happen?
He jumped over a Model T or whatever the hell.
On Saturday?
Yeah, on Saturday. It was a makeshift airplane. He brought the Tuskegee
I believe.
Yeah, he did. He caught like that little clip. But I think for any big man, you really got to be Sean Kemp or some shit to matter. So the big man got a strike against him. But long story short, like the reason why I think anybody will make this exciting again if you knew one take. Do whatever the hell you finna do. Is watching them try. I feel bad for goddamn, why am I blanking? Dennis Smith. You knew going into it, like, this is who's gonna give us a show. And the things he was trying to do would have been amazing if he could have pulled it off on one take.
Let's, before we move on from this, I was watching the draft with Marty, and watching LeBron pick his team and Giannis. Do you all like that? I really miss the East-West format.
That's interesting.
Did you all like the draft?
Before they answer, we got comments over here.
Okay.
We got a lady watching.
Yes, Miss Princess Jiggins.
Yeah, she say in practice, Bron doing great dunks, but during the game, he do the same dunk.
And Zahir, what he talking? Because that's my boy.
He said, how y'all feel about the All-Star 2020 in the shot?
We are excited.
We are excited to host it, and it'll make some money for the city, and hopefully the people can make some
Zion
money.
to be there next year. That's the hope.
Hopefully
Before
he
you get
stays in college.
He going to get that.
He will be in the dunk contest.
But what about the format before we got to keep going? You all okay with the format?
I like the intrigue behind the players being the GM drafting, but it's like it also shows that they're not GM. Like LeBron do a good job, but you can have a team that's so imbalanced and lopsided. So what I do like about the East-West, it's almost like a territory versus a territory.
Yeah.
And you're going to have the balance with guards, wings, power forwards, stretch fours, whatever. Versus players all over the place.
The East and West, so it's not balanced, so it makes it boring. If you had just the East, your top player would be Joel Embiid and Kyrie Irving.
And
Giannis.
And
Paul
Giannis.
George. Like,
Paul George.
OKC. It'd be Giannis, Ben Simmons,
right.
Kyrie. It'd be terrible. You're going against LeBron, KD,
Curry.
Steph. You going to hard, like it's gonna be they're gonna dog walk them.
That's the imbalance was this year.
It was like I was almost.
But I'm saying, but it's gonna be to me, it's gonna be boring. I just feel like they're gonna just dominate the entire game if you do East and West. I actually like it.
I
like it.
Me myself, I do miss the East versus West because like we're all second. You don't know who's really playing hard. And on paper, right, you be like Kevin Durant, motherfucking LeBron, it's no chance. But that would kind of be intriguing. Like, can a team with Kyrie and Giannis beat a team with Durant, Curry, Harden if they play? Now,
But they won't.
we don't know that because they don't start playing until the fourth anyway. We saw LeBron getting their ass whooped the whole night.
That it was competitive.
I mean, they always turn up in the fourth.
But see, think about it. You got Kyle Lowry, Ben Simmons, bro, Kawhi Leonard, like good players, but you talking about the West starting, they top 10 players are in the top 20.
I will give you that. The only reason why I think I agree with Martell is and it's Martell, my bad. Yeah. I do miss the format can't be brought back because it's a positionless ass game. Yeah. So like you said, when Joel Embiid got to stick LeBron or Durant, and you like, come on man, I would rather you force the center back into the game. It's not my goddamn fault Joel Embiid, a goddamn stop. Put Jokic on the floor. Match this shit back up the way it was. But you will have to go back to positions. And since it's so all over the place, Tony's way worked. Like watching them pick their friends. But I do kind of miss the territory of East versus West.
And I kind of real quick, I kind of miss it because like you said, territory, like growing up as a Bulls fan, the Bulls in the East. So I was gonna always roll
for the East.
Exactly. Right. So that was like, you don't know who you going for. It's like,
you going with your favorite player.
Right. Whoever got the team with the most amount of players that you like.
Right. But we go by players now instead of teams.
Well,
but we could go back to the format though. If I'm a Bulls fan and he a Rockets fan, like when Francis was on the Rockets, I was rooting for the West.
So you don't think it's entertaining to watch Steph Curry stick
Klay
Thompson?
It's exciting.
And vice versa, like that whole matchup, like I found that intriguing.
No, and I get it. So did you also like, which I didn't, but I want to pick your brain, when the Pistons starting four was on the floor at the same time?
I hated it.
I hate it, but it still was, this is the East versus whoever you send that versus.
But one more last thing, what I do like about the East and West Ziggy is it creates, like, it's a consistency. Like they beat us last year.
Correct.
The teams really don't change that much drastically. So it's like year after year, like you get a chance to see them develop.
We didn't forget.
Right.
We didn't forget.
But the balance is not like when we enjoyed it in the heydays in the 90s and early 2000s. Like when Mike was playing, we actually enjoyed it. We loved it because we knew the competition would be there. And these same teams will meet in the playoffs or the championship. Now it's just all the top players are centralized on like the top 4 teams. So you gotta spread it out.
We're gonna move on.
Okay.
We're gonna move on. And the more you watch, if we get Tony Fitt back on the show, you'll see that he's a Sox fan. He's a Gemini. Most of his views are pretty far left and unrealistic.
I don't know what he thought.
No.
He did a good job.
But he's always gonna be different. You know, he's gonna be the antagonist.
How's that a second?
No Bulls. I think Laurie Marketing was the only Bull that was on that was invited, and he barely got in to the skills challenge. What are your thoughts on that? No Bulls. You know,
I feel like they didn't deserve to get invited. That's
not even Levine.
No.
Did they get invited or do they volunteer?
You gotta be invited. You gotta get votes.
When it comes to the Bulls, like
stay with the All-Star.
We're not leaving. I want nothing to do with that.
No comment, man. No comment.
All right. So what about? And I know we'll start with you, White Sox SC. the Bulls trade of Otto Porter Jr. to Washington for Jabari Parker and Bobby Portis. What were your thoughts? I think it was an awful trade.
I'm enraged, and I will say the one thing I do love about the NBA All-Star Game is they don't force somebody off a team because you on the team. Like, if you didn't deserve to go, your ass ain't going to be here. So I kind of appreciate that no Bull belonged in the All-Star Game. But the trade was asinine to me because you're building. You took a 3-and-D, a mid type role player, and Otto Porter can do some things or whatever. You put him on a team that you were essentially like chasing a lottery. So now Otto Porter is responsible for 2 fucking wins, which in the tank lottery, they're now the 4th seed. Before you got Otto Porter, you were sitting comfortably at number 2 with Bobby Portis and Jabari Parker. So for them to add $101 million with opt-out.
Otto Porter Jr., $24 million last year, $26 million this year, $27 million next year, and $28 million.
He got 2 more years after this.
2021.
They got a team option, I believe, on the
team option for that when he becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2021.
And I'll wrap it up and throw it to them because I'm enraged. Like, this was the first time in all of 15 years that Paxson and not Foreman all the years, but Paxson in general, that I finally said, okay, I'm out. I would sit there and say, well, you can't blame for Derrick Rose. You had a disgruntled star in Jimmy Butler, so Paxson ain't really had the best hand to deal with. You finally got it right by overachieving in the jump.
You said Paxson didn't have the.
He's had a bad hand.
When did they get it right, though?
No, I say you finally got it right with the trade.
What bad hand did he have?
The injury to Rose, you can't predict that.
Okay, go ahead.
You can't predict that. Jimmy Butler, you stuck with a guy that's a star who thinks he's a superstar, and you kind of got to curtail what he want to do without telling your awful fans who support this bullshit. We're not going to win with him, so we're going to go sign Dwayne Wade and Rondo, and no, we're not going to win. So you say, you know what, fuck, we're going to tear it down, we're going to trade Jimmy Butler. First thing he ever did that I respected, you overachieved with getting marketing. Didn't think he was going to be that good. Potential Zach LaVine, whatever in Chris Dunn cap space. You then lose next year, that's fine. You end up with Wendell Carter, who I think gonna be decent if he gets some tick. And now you come to this year. Fortunately, Zion, RJ Barrett. You are by default in a generational draft. You go and take someone who's gonna make you 2 wins better. Who is going to put you down from Zion to RJ down to Rui Hachimura and shit. I don't want anything past those 2. And if John Morant is a consolation prize, I'm cool. But just adding Porter, adding money to a bad team leaves me fucking befuddled. I don't know, Tony, you looking at me? Say what you going to say.
I guess the Paxson dealt himself a bad hand.
Okay.
Even with the Rose injury, they didn't have the shoot. And they told him, get the shooting. But as far as the trade, I was totally fucking heated. I couldn't believe that you got Jabari Parker on the team option for next year for $20 million. You was gonna get rid of him.
Let him walk.
Portis wasn't even. I think
he was gonna be restricted. You could let him walk.
On his rookie, you let him walk. You pick up all this money, right? And you pick it up to cover up the fact after you traded. John Paxson says we wasn't ready for a big star to come in. So you go get Otto Porter to make us better so we can be number 6 in the draft and grab some terrible guy with great character from UConn or Virginia and say how he got potential.
Yep.
And then you said you like all these pieces coming
And you
together.
fired Woodward.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would have said that Paxson Guard got to go. They know what they're doing. I feel like they would never dealt a bad hand. Even when they had roles, we had people like Ronnie Brewer, and then when they finally decided to make a move, who did they get? A 38-year-old Richard Hamilton.
Dude, are you ready to jump ship?
I've been jump ship from
No, he can't jump ship.
You been jump ship?
From
Go ahead.
Bulls. I didn't feel any way about the trade because it was typical Bulls.
Yeah.
And we can go back 10, 15 years ago. I don't even understand how Paxson and Foreman still have the positions that they have.
You know, Bulls.
So it was typical Bulls.
The
What they did was they knew it wasn't that they didn't think the team wasn't ready for a superstar. They knew they wouldn't get a superstar. Mm-hmm. So for the last 3 or 4 years, they're saying we building cap space. Now to the fan base, when you fail to get a star again in the summer of 2019, what's going to be your excuse then? So they say, okay, we're going to be slick and try to get a player with a little potential and overspend on them so we can say, well, at least we was able to spend a little money. We not cheap. But if you want to go back,
would you do that with Otto Porter though? I don't even think you would build that.
But we talking about
would you rather not to cut out what you said? I'm trying to let you finish. I don't even think as incompetent as Paxton and Foreman is that they would even champion. Oh, we got Otto Porter though. I don't understand.
No, that's what they did. That's how they feel.
I would think that at this point, when you traded Jimmy Butler, you have 3 to 4 years to say we're trying. You got the Anthony Davis free agency and the Giannis free agency. You could have got neither one of them and then been accountable. But to get Porter and then say, well, we tried to get Porter. We tried to get a free agent. I don't think that they would even be that dumb to even roll it out to
But they are that incompetent. Like, these are the same guys that were saying in 2005 and through 2007 that Lou Aldine, Kurt Heinrich, and Chris Huard was the core to a championship team. The only thing they've done right in 15 years is get lucky, drafting Rose because he was from Chicago. If he wasn't from Chicago, they probably would have drafted Michael Beasley.
Oh, yeah.
But they knew he was from the city.
I was a Michael.
So they had
everyone was.
So they had to. But over the years, they haven't gotten a lot right.
The only thing I'll say, and I'm dealing with we ain't heard from you, the only thing I'm going to say is you were one pick away from Wade. You knew they were going to take Wade. You couldn't predict the Rose injury. And then when the Rose years, you were picking up quality players in the draft. Now, what I will reward them on, whether y'all feel me or not, they did go all in to try to get LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. They chose Miami.
And Carmelo.
So, and it's nothing they can do about that. But to do this makes all that.
But I think we gotta also look at the influence Tibbs had during those years too. The Bulls had a respectable coach who was in their ear. This is what we need to do. We found out after he left that a lot of moves he wanted them to make. He wanted them to draft Draymond.
Well,
and they didn't go get it.
Well, that's what you deal with.
But going back to what he said, I remember when Rose got hurt that first year, right?
They should have tanked.
The first year. No. The first, we knew he was a wing scorer away from being a real title contender. The year that after he missed it, they knew he was missing. They didn't get anybody. Because you know what they said? We'll just wait till you get back, and then we'll start again.
You right.
When you build a championship culture, you don't skip steps. You
Yeah.
always build it. So what happened, if you recall, when Rose came back after the first ACL tear, and then he tore the meniscus 12 games into it. I was watching him play at Portland, and they was on the West Coast trip.
Mm-hmm.
Them whole 10, 11 games, it felt like 2 years prior all over. I'm like, how can he be hurt to ACL and they not go get no help? You know what I'm saying? The same type of pressure was right back on them again.
And I remember one of those, y'all know what year it was. We was arguing about you wanted to pay Joe Johnson $120 million, and I was totally against it.
Oh, I would have been too.
But I realized, like now, after reflecting, like we should have paid him.
Just cause.
And this is why I wasn't against it at the time. Players was getting these crazy contracts, and I was telling them that's what the market was dictating.
Johnson was on the way down.
No, he wasn't. No,
not
he was finished. Not the time he wasn't.
He had 1 year in Brooklyn.
And that's
you
all.
wanted to give him the 120.
Yeah, the 120.
He had 1 year, the year you want to
That's
give him.
all.
And I can respect the move.
Joe.
Now, the thing that I argue with my friends is to see how Rudy Gay, whatever he is now, or whatever he was, those were the moves that I would respect. Why weren't you trying to get Rudy Gay when what you were giving, what he was trading for?
This is why I was cool with them getting overspending from Joe Johnson, because it was the last piece we needed. And we're not talking about a small market franchise like the Hornets or Denver. They print money. So if overpaying is going to possibly bring you a title, you can't show appreciation.
Overpay.
Okay, guys.
That's a problem.
That was good stuff. We
Bulls.
gotta move on. We got 4 minutes left for NBA. I got to talk about 2 things. Dale Demps was the GM of the New Orleans Pelicans, and we got Charlamagne, the guy that has the donkey of the day.
Hell yeah.
All that stuff. Mr. Dale Demps, what an idiot you are. If you all, somebody know Dale Demps, let him know that when somebody's going to offer you with a position where you don't even have to rebuild. You get all the rebuild players. You get draft picks. You get first round and second round, and you don't pull the trigger. You got a disgruntled Anthony Davis who I'll let if they want to do it, they can do it. You're an idiot. And I don't like to see black people get fired. I don't like to see people lose their job at all. But Dale Demps.
I got a whole different perspective on that. And
Okay.
rumors is rumors, you never know what's true. Rumors is rumors, you never know what's true.
Calm down, sir.
I'm calm. I'm watching the game, actually. So, leading up into the trade deadline, I saw people like Stephen A. and Chris Broussard and a couple other
I don't know
reporters
who they are.
that were saying that.
I only watch Unapollagetic.
Basically, they were saying that if Dale Demps made the deal, he would have lost his job.
No.
Because the NBA didn't want him to acquiesce to the Lakers, give in to Clutch Sports, because that was really a political move.
Okay.
So, on the other hand, if you need to sit back and play the game and see what you can get during the summer, the players they getting, this is about, we talking about championships. They're not about to win them no title. They could have been potential, but they're not championship pieces. So you can't really say that that's why he got fired because he didn't make that trade. I wouldn't have made the trade either. You can't put pressure on me within 2 weeks to say, this is where I'm going. This is how you know it's some BS. Because Anthony Davis said the other day, all 29 teams is on my list except for New Orleans, but I want to win.
Well,
it's only 6 or 7 teams.
Totally fair. What do you think about it, buddy?
I agree with Martell. There's no way I would have made that trade. And not, first of all,
You say there's no way
there's
you
no way I
would
would
make
have made that trade with LA. I believe in bid wars. You got Boston sitting on your hip where you could potentially get a franchise player. Danny Ainge is desperate. I believe Kyrie is going to stay. And if I'm going to get Tatum, a number 1 draft pick, and you might throw in Rozier, I'm taking that. Why give him what he wants? Like you said, it's a total political move. I'm going with the short start.
So let me ask you the audience this if you're here. Let's see if Dale Demps can make this trade now. Let's see if he can make it from his living room.
So, hold on. Regardless of what it was, Dale Demps' job was sticking. He was going to get fired. Because if he made the deal, he was going to look like a punk to all the other GMs. If he didn't make the deal, he was going to look stupid. So the Warriors wanted to reason to fire. He was a terrible GM the last 10 years.
He tried. He tried.
He got rid of Buddy Hill, who's an assassin.
Maybe bad.
What's the other boy name?
Let DeMarcus go.
Let DeMarcus go.
DeMarcus was in.
He signed Drew Holiday to all that money.
Drew Holiday and
he is not worth that
worth.
He is not worth that type of money.
Otto Jr. is not either.
But listen, that's why you couldn't get nobody surrounding AD because of the bad contract.
They won the first round series. You can't expect them to compete with Golden State or Houston or at the Clippers at that time. They were behind them. That trade, when you trade people like that, you usually have to rebuild like the Bulls. They had to gut it all out. When you pull a trade, when you bring in you talk about people in their second and third year, and you got to get draft picks. The draft picks will be you secure your job. You get an extension. White Sox.
I totally disagree with Martell and Tony on this. And I get you saying it was deeper than sports. Whatever bid or you think you're going to do with Boston, then you were never going to get Tatum. Especially with me knowing the following year I could just sign him. I personally don't think Kyrie is staying. But to dig deeper, I gave you Kuzma, Ingram, and Ball. I gave you a starting lineup for someone who has already told you I'm leaving with picks. That's right. The picks won't mean nothing. I give you that before you say it. But I gave you the best trade that you're going to see. No one else, as Goodwin said, outside of Boston, who else competing? Now, what I think the dark horse, and this is way out there, New York is going to be a player. So New York got 3 spots. Cat Room and Dennis Smith. Hold on. For whatever you gonna attack New York on, I can respect what they did. They said, we're not gonna win with Chris Stops. What we gonna do is open up 3 spots and say, this is gonna be 3 years of free agents that matter.
What makes you think Boston won't trade Tatum for Anthony Davis?
Well, because when you trade Tatum and you just bring Davis in, but you don't know if you got Kyrie, what do you just create a New Orleans East?
Oh, so let me
without Tatum, why does Davis even matter?
Davis makes Kyrie may stay with Davis. Everything is a risk. It's all a risk.
It is, but would you risk your job with a trade that you could have made. And then, like you say, if he gets fired or people laugh at him and get punked around the league, he didn't get, I know you say it's deeper than sports. He got fired because you kept him and he got injured. So now we're looking at you like,
and he's this
I mean, it wasn't, but like,
now every time he get somebody go like this, he can be like, "Oh, I can't play."
Can I give you?
We got comments. We got comments.
Montel just threw up the strong arm about the show.
let's go.
Montel, please unblock me, Montel. Please take me out. Unblock me, Montel.
Zaire Jinx say the picks mean a lot, especially in this draft class.
I mean, but if it's the Lakers
Hold
pick,
up. So
you're not going
let
to.
me give you 3 examples. First,
It's on.
free agency starts July 1. So Kyrie have an idea. They can't trade for AD until
They
July
can't.
1. So that's the first thing. That's
true.
2, Tatum is the starter. Danny Ainge, no, he done got all this equity in order to get AD. The last 2 years, you done seen the Paul George effect, right? Now Toronto don't gamble on Kawhi. We don't know. Danny Ainge is gonna gamble on AD. He is a generational talent. So if I gotta give up Tatum, Rozier, and some draft picks, hey, you gotta go.
We got
can't
some
be mad at
comments.
that.
We got comments, and we're gonna move on.
No, please.
Mark Williams said it was a rumor Tatum wanted to get traded to New Orleans so he could be the man.
I don't know how much I feel about that one. Like, Tatum is in a good position because, as he said, you don't know what Kyrie is going to do and whether Tatum is there or not. Tatum is a future star in the making. And everything you saying is right.
Let me ask you a question. If Kyrie commits July 1 to the Celtics, would you trade? If you the Pelicans, to Boston or to LA? If Kyrie commits, what package you going with? Are you going with Tatum, Rozier, and 2 draft picks? The draft picks going to be the top 10. Or you going to take Ball, Henry Steady, Kuzma, Ingram, Hart, and the big top?
Or you can end up having nothing.
And that's it. That's
you're
the
gonna get
angle.
something.
No, you better not get nothing.
They gonna get something.
If you wait,
No, Anthony Davis would allow it. You got to trade AD because
they don't have to trade.
no, they do have to trade him, or you won't get anything.
Well, why would you
If it
trade him
comes
at
down
the
to
trade
the
deadline?
deadline,
This is why. AD wants to get traded because I'm not, don't quote me, but I think he can only sound like a 4-year, 160-something million. But if he gets traded, he get that extra year and that extra money. So they gonna trade him. There's no way they gonna just let him walk. What is he talking about?
Zaire Jinx say they have too many players fighting for the small forward position.
And I get it. That's why if I'm Boston, I will say this, and then y'all got it. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm not gonna build my team around Kyrie and Anthony Davis, injury-prone ass players.
Yeah.
This is why I can't give you Tatum, because if I got Tatum and Davis, then I say okay, I still got Tatum. As much as it's, and I really didn't want to say it, but I can't roll the dice on saying I'm gonna gut my team for Kyrie and Anthony Davis, both walking away injuries. I can't do it.
So you're not.
I'd rather sign them.
So you're not gonna take Brad Stevens. Oh my gosh, went blank. Davis, Kyrie, Jaylen Brown.
Look, I think Jaylen will get.
you
I'm taking Jaylen.
You got Hayward, Marcus Smart, Al Horford. You mean to tell me
It ain't gonna
they
work
can't?
like that.
No, some of these people you name it will be in that churn.
No, they don't give up right. Taylor Rozier.
But, hold on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna
We
move
gonna talk
on.
about
it.
One thing that
I don't believe it.
the Trailblazers. We gotta do this quickly. The Trailblazers beat the hell out of the Warriors before the All-Star break, and they made a trade. They got Cantor and they got Rodney Hood, and they were very physical. I actually watched that game, and I cannot sit through an NBA game. They were very physical with the Warriors. They got them frustrated. Kerr got ejected. Does Portland have what it takes to be a top 4 team? We talk about Houston, Golden State. They got to put
Denver.
OKC up there, Denver. Does Portland now have what it takes with those 2 players in the mix to be legitimate contenders?
We ain't heard Martell in a minute. Come on with it.
I think it depends on their style of play. If Dame and McCullough is gonna keep on throwing up threes, then they won't be.
But they don't have to now.
They don't have to, but it's hard to break old habits.
Yeah.
I think they did need a big man like Kansas, so
Yeah.
I think they have potential to be in the top 4. that they not beating Golden State.
They're not beating
That's
Golden State.
not even a question.
Okay, so you got Golden State to win the championship again.
Yes.
Okay, Tony
I
Finn,
don't
quickly.
think Portland can. They don't have defense.
Top four. They're not gonna be a top
They
four.
might end up in the top
5.
four, but they can't. They won't. I don't believe they can make it past the second round.
Okay, so you got Golden State winning it too. Everybody kind of picked Golden State.
I think if OKC, OKC don't have to shoot.
Golden State winning.
Yeah.
Before we go to White Sox, we got a comment from.
Mark Williams said Cantor adds toughness.
Yes, I agree. I think that cancel was
You put it in pick and roll. It's so good.
a good pickup for them. White Sox.
In my opinion, the
Top
only
four.
team that they could compete with would be Denver in any series. They wouldn't outlast Houston, Golden State, and OKC. I don't think it. And it's a nice pickup, but they're a second tier type team in the West.
Okay.
They don't got a chance.
We're going to switch gears to Major League Baseball, where the all teams reported to Arizona and reported to Florida. And I forgot that they're irrelevant. I don't even want to say their names, so I'm glad I don't know it. But one of these statistics bureaus picked the Chicago Cubs to finish dead last in the National League Central. So we'll start with the haters. Mr. Tony Finn, do you agree with that the Cubs will be?
It was Pacoda, by the way.
I said
I had to. I'm a hater. I'm gonna let you know.
You glad you admitted that. Cubs finished dead last, meaning no playoffs in the National League.
Okay, I'm gonna try my best not to be biased. I don't see the Cubs making the playoffs, not because they don't have a good team.
White Sox, help them out.
I personally,
I don't want to be biased.
I'm able to not be biased as much as I don't have love for the Cubs. I don't think they'll be last. I just think that the division is strong. There's no way that they're worse than Cincinnati on no day. But I think it will be more of a fight. You saw what Milwaukee did. Milwaukee may regress a little. But I think the Cubs, St. Louis, I think that's going to be the thorn in your side. You guys won't be last. You'll be in between 1 and 3.
They don't. Do they win it? Do
They're
they
not gonna
win
be
the division? Tell me the Cubs win the division.
I don't know if they win a division.
You should.
They will make the playoffs. I won't say that they will be better than last year, but they'll be more consistent than last year.
95 wins.
Everything, right.
How do you
I'm
be
about
more
to get into
consistent
that.
than 95?
They still wasn't a consistent team.
I give you that.
Everything that could have went wrong for them last year went wrong.
Yes.
Health, players not focused. Addison Russell going through what we found out was the whole domestic situation. Nah, that was a real situation.
We're gonna go to that later.
Like I said, health, Addison Russell situation.
And
Players not focused. So I think that I would love to have seen them add some free agents, but I think that what Theo and Jed, the approach that they taking is saying, listen, like we got enough talent to win now. Y'all got to man up and be focused. They challenging Joe Madden to change to adjust his staff. I mean, it's his approach a little bit more. So as long as they healthy, just say they healthy. When you Darvish and the closer and everybody else, as long as they healthy, they'll be a better team than they were last year.
I think it's ridiculous that to pick the Cubs to
Pacoda
finish last. I don't know who they are. To finish last, the division will be tough, but I do think that the Cubs will win the division. They don't have their target on their back this year. They'll skate through. The pitchers that we still have: Lester, Quintana, Hendricks, Cole Hamels, and you Darvish healthy. Coming
Montgomery in the wings, just in case.
Montgomery and Chapman was awful.
I think that's the main thing, to replace Chatwood, who couldn't make it an inning without walking people. With Cole Hamels at the beginning of the season, that's big right there.
Yeah, the pitching staff will be much better. Go ahead, sir.
Mark Williams said, will Baez repeat last season numbers?
Those are the things you have to wonder.
Baez has been steadily climbing every year. You can't really expect people to have an MVP caliber year every year, like Mike Trout and all those. But I do think that Baez will be consistent as far as, get me 270, definitely a 30 home run hitter, and still 20.
Even if he's slightly below, there's no way that Chris Bryant and
That's
Addison
all
Russell
go.
can have the worse years than they did last year. So addition, by subtraction almost, the lineup has to be better.
White Sox Machado and Harper and Keuchel are still unsigned. And, just like in the NFL, which we're going to get to Kaepernick soon, just like in the NFL, the MLB owners have made it happen. They said, hey, we're not giving these people all this money. It ain't even got nothing to do with race. They said, we're not giving you all this money all these years. Analytics has played such a big part in Major League Baseball. What do you see happening in spring training is in session?
It's a reflection of the leadership with Tony Clark. I don't know why they went with a former player.
Tony Clark is the president of the Players Association.
And it just shows you how much they got screwed in their last collective bargaining agreement. Like, it's no way in February that the faces of your game haven't found a team. And I know that this is entertainment, and it really doesn't matter if they show up to whatever respective team they sign for, but it's just not a good look, because baseball, I mean, we already know within our culture what baseball is, but just to the average fan, like, it's February 20th, and Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, and Dallas Keuchel are not signed. Mike Moustakas is taking a $10 million a year and a $9 million a year. And he said 38 home runs and 28 in back-to-back seasons. As you said, this is a larger problem. That if they had real leadership in the MLBPA, someone would say, no, we're not doing this. I think it's going to be deeper than that.
Tony Finn, someone gave the solution to the problem and say everybody signs one-year contracts. Now, you will get a lot of super teams if everybody signed a one-year contract, but it would if the players say, hey, I'm signing a one-year contract, give me 1 year, $20 million, and we'll worry about next year. What do you think about that?
I think that's just bad for the game in any sport, because everybody's gonna take less money and just jump on 2-3 teams, and it's gonna be dominated, and the owners gonna have an issue.
That's how you take your power back.
Yeah, but as far as the 10-year contracts, I don't think nobody should be paid 10-year contracts. But if Machado want to stand on that, and that's what he wants, an 8 or a 10-year contract, then but listen, you only earn what somebody willing to pay you.
True.
So if they not willing to pay him 8-10 years, then either he take less or he sit out.
But isn't that when we creep into collusion? I think the problem is because baseball does. I absolutely believe. I agree with you that the Pujols contract is why no one will ever get 10 years again. The Stan contract. But in the same breath, without a hard cap, where is the money going? We know where it's going. To know that my owners and each owner is pocketing that money, and you're saying, well, we're not going to pay this guy what the market dictates. That's collusion to me in the spiritual. TJ, I see you over there. Tony, get me right after this.
That's fine. He said, Mark Williams said 1 year contracts is good for the owners, bad for the players.
I wouldn't trust it with my family and my career. Better say, Tony, what you gonna say?
So is any player in the league worth in Major League Baseball?
Mike Trout
worth $40 to $50 million a year.
Mike Trout.
How many? Is it 5 players worth that? Is Machado worth $50 million a year? I
would say Harper, Machado. Machado is right in there. He's a star.
For how long?
If you could do it 3 years, I would do it.
No, they want 10. So how long?
I would meet me in the middle. Meet me in the middle. Can we meet in the middle is the biggest thing. If you give me 5 years at 200, now we're talking. That's 40 for 5. What are we talking about now? So I get like you don't want to get someone $30 million over 10 years and you're handicapped, but to say you're not going to be on the team on February 21st, and every other team in the MLB is in spring training. That just is. Imagine the NBA not having LeBron signed at this point.
That wouldn't happen.
Of course it would, because it's a hard cap, a salary cap sport, and the reason why baseball is suffering, this is what the revenue sharing shit kicks them in the ass. Because there's no pressure to add anybody. Now, if every man was for themselves, then we be like, well, shit.
That's true.
That's on you. That's when your fan base will come for you. Martin, you looking at me, I don't know what you finna say.
That's a good point.
I just try to look at it from every angle. Of course, if you're an athlete, you're not trying to sign a 1-year deal. You want to get that lengthy term, get as much money as you can get. And I'm usually all for players getting their money, first of all. But from an owner's perspective, I kind of understand the culture has developed. Like we talked about, these players want 10-year deals, and they hurt by year 3. It's less than 5 players that's worth that type of money. And I think it might have started with A-Rod. Was A-Rod the first player to sign that
10-year deal, yeah.
10-year, $250 million,
Do
something
you
like
think
that?
he lived up to it?
I don't.
I agree.
So, but then it's another level that we don't really know. You talk about Bryce Harper, Machado, like you said, it's not a hard cap league. How much are these players generating for you from a merchandise and an advertising and the cable TV?
You coming to watch them and see
Right, so
Harper.
we don't really know exactly what they worth. And like you said, you worth what you able to negotiate.
Let me ask you a question. So, was it 3 years ago? Would you have gave Bryant or what's his name?
Rizzo.
Would you have gave them $40 million?
$40 million.
I wouldn't have gave him $40 million.
8 years.
I take
the height.
I understand the question. I wouldn't have gave him $40 million a year.
Why not?
But I think because I just feel like that's a whole lot of money.
Are they $40 million players?
No.
At the height 3 years ago.
I don't think none of them are. Mike Murphy.
Anton Montgomery repeats exactly what Mark said. He said it's great for the owners.
It's great for the owners. They use up the players and trade them.
All right, thank you,
You can't be reading comments and then just.
No, he probably
just.
Anton probably came in a little late. Thank you for watching Anton instead of me up.
Then
We asked
Ray
this
Sean Thompson says, "Fuck the Cubs."
There you
Who
go.
was up?
Yeah.
Kilo's brother.
Oh, Mr. Thompson. I love your family, but okay.
He has a question that I didn't get an answer from you
He
on.
did.
What? What's
40 for 8.
No.
So Chris Bryant in their prime.
No,
At that prime, at the top.
They in their prime now. Chris Bryant is in his prime
at the
now.
height like
His
3 years ago,
MVP year.
when they was just.
He was a rookie.
No, he said at that point,
No.
you wouldn't
No,
go
But
for
see,
it.
I think this is where I think a cap would help because you would able to be able to project like what's the standard and what's the average for that
I
level
agree.
of player.
I agree.
Personally, it's like it sounds mind-boggling to think that somebody should be worth $40 million, but if
where's
they
the money
generate
going?
that, right?
Exactly. Where's the money?
It's not fair if the player's getting 10% of the pie and the owner's getting the other 90%.
Correct.
So it has to be shared.
It is,
you know what I mean?
and you get what you negotiate.
No, but I'm not saying. I'm saying
You
with
work
it,
how
it
much
doesn't
you
make.
get.
They need to negotiate a better system.
It's heading toward a lockout. It's heading toward a strike.
Oh, that's definitely
And if in the next collective bargaining agreement
Yeah.
that they don't put a hard cap in, expect this to get worse.
Yeah, it is. In all sports, the older players, the veterans, they moving them out. They want these high school, they want these college, they want these young people to come in and get this money and pay them
One more
less.
question. And this is that was advocate. Why would the owners? Why would the owners?
Whoa.
Why would the owners pay? Think about it, right? If you're an owner, right? And I say I want to give Bryce Harper $40, $50 million, right? And the way, like, look at the Cubs farm system, the way they producing. Why would I gamble with my farm system than to give a person 50? And I can still, like, the Cubs can still generate revenue. If you take away Rizzo, Bryant, Baez, they're still going to generate the same revenue regardless.
Okay.
If they got a mediocre team, they're going to generate it.
I'm pretty sure these Cubs fans
So
can remember
as a owner,
14
why would you pay
and 13, the years when nobody was at Brady. They're still the Cubs,
because they
still got revenue. But who's going to come watch the farm system?
But think about Hootie. The Cubs dragged it out. If you don't drag it out, if you stay like this, if you stay in the middle of the pack, Cubs fans will be happy.
I think
Not
that's
anymore.
the old
Not
generation.
anymore.
I
No,
really
not
don't
anymore.
think it's the same.
Not anymore. We
I
want to
mean,
win.
yeah.
We want to win. You got to win.
When you
champions
win,
now.
and you're more valuable as a
Look
winning
at
franchise.
these
The Yankees show us that every year. Boston shows us that every year. The same Boston complex, the Cubs have a right to say, why aren't we Boston? Boston now sits and says, if the Boston that we knew coming up, the other team that never won and with the White Sox lumped in, Boston fans now say if we don't win every 2 years, we want our general manager gone. They didn't want Theo anymore. That's the level that Boston
The
are.
Cubs don't have to win.
Once they won, they do now.
The Cubs have to win now, especially that they get their own network with Sinclair Sports starting in 2020. The Cubs need to win. We've covered NBA. We've covered it in MLB. We're going to go to the NFL where Colin Kaepernick has settled with the NFL for an undisclosed amount of money on his discrimination collusion case. Martell, what are your thoughts on that? You're wearing the Kaepernick red tonight.
Well, first and foremost, I respect Cap for the way he carried this whole situation out.
Yes, very classy.
From an integrity standpoint, he stayed consistent. Mm-hmm. He stood on what he believed in. Mm-hmm. From a legal standpoint, mm-hmm. he went that route, that the same route that the powers that be usually go. Mm-hmm. And he was able to get something up out of it. And if we know the NFL like we know them, they don't like to give you anything, let alone let the public know that they gave you anything. So he won every way you could win. You know, he started something, a movement that's going to go on far past his time. Some people may say, what did he accomplish? Was it all worth it? But it has to be a start somewhere.
Exactly.
He can only, logically, it was only so much that he could do.
Exactly.
So I think that he accomplished everything he could possibly accomplish. If he get a chance to play again, I'm not sure. I don't know if he genuinely want to, but I think.
Why would you?
He won on the level. Well, it's been rumored said that he is interested in playing. But
pass it to your boy, Tony.
He's done something we haven't seen. He bucked the system of the NFL.
That is true.
Went toe to toe with
they
them
paid
and came out victorious.
Right, that's the key. The NFL paid him. And it's hard to sue the big corporations like that. They have the money. They have the lawyers.
Nothing to do with that.
The big corporations you usually lose, and he made it happen. Tony Finn, what do you think about that?
Thank you, sir. I'm the guest. I love what Kaepernick. I love what Kaepernick did. I would not want to see Kaepernick play down in the NFL again.
I agree.
He started a movement. If he does play against them like he was paid, and they will require him to stand, which would just wipe away everything. Mm-hmm. People lost, not just Cap, but other people lost jobs, careers for Cap. Some of the players who you don't even know their names. So other than that, kneel with Cap.
Okay.
I'm gonna take it like this. The NFL are the biggest. What I'm starting to say about rich people are, you don't have to be smart to fucking be rich. Mm-hmm. You ended up awarding him more money than he ever would have grossed as a player over a fucking meal that nobody. It's reported numbers. It's reported numbers. I won't report it. I think it's way past.
White Sox SC reports. This is exclusive. The numbers from Cap's settlement.
You gotta go on Facebook after the show. I won't report anything without the legal team looking at it first. I just don't think that the NFL played this chess move smart. I didn't even know he was fucking kneeling until they told me. Yeah. You did this to yourself.
That's true. That's kind of smart.
I'm just a guy doing a sports show. The way I feel is in the end, as Martell said, like he never folded. And I'll take it another step further. He never asked for any of this, by the way. Mm-hmm. Everything that the people who didn't watch the Super Bowl, the people who will watch it, he got his money, he stuck to his guns, and truthfully, if he did play again, he could be like, shit, I never said I didn't want to play.
And he didn't do it for money.
He didn't do it for money, that's the thing. And that's the greatest thing. He stuck to his guns, as Martin said, not to be redundant. And now they made him, if this a word, you Northern alum, and I heard Locke Brothers or something, a living martyr. Is that a word? You made him matter more.
Somebody Google that.
You made him matter more than he ever would have as a San Francisco quarterback.
That's true.
He never would have mattered. Congratulations to Cat, and don't forget Eric Reed, his brother. And the show, he also
was. Are you all related? Eric Reed?
It's in the family. You know, I don't like to brag and shit. You gotta catch that. I should have known.
He want to talk. Go ahead.
No,
What you
I'm with you all. I stand with Cap. I'm glad that we got some comments.
No, Mark Williams said, keep in mind, Cap kneeled after he got that first contract.
That's true.
Well, you know what? If you all don't know who Mark is, he is definitely a conservative Republican of the Zion Bible Project.
People could be comparing him to Ali. Ali really struggled. He had to like get work because they wouldn't let him box. Cap signed a $60 million deal, and then after he signed that deal, then he kneeled. So it wasn't like he was ever gonna struggle. He was set.
So you felt like it was strategic.
The deal came a couple years before he started kneeling, though.
Right,
that's what I'm
the
saying.
kneel was never
Right, the kneel was in protest of police brutality against.
Right, but I'm saying it's possible that he probably wouldn't have kneeled if he didn't have that break.
But
that's just a hypothetical. We can't discredit him for what he might not have done.
Even if that was true, that's like if I'm a rookie in the league, right? I'm gonna make sure I'm solidified. I'm gonna get my money first and then act the fool. I'm not gonna act the fool before you gotta pay me. What he did was a chess move, and then I did it where he sprung ball him. Oh my God, that's his sprung ball.
We can't. It's all right.
The guy in New York and when they were going to kill the guy in St. Louis. He didn't know, okay, well, let me hurry up and sign this contract because they're going to start killing blacks. You know?
Of course.
Come on.
And that's how I'm saying, closing mark to this. Like, the NFL made him into what he was. He didn't ask for any of this. I kneeled. So fucking what? Who said, and this is my biggest problem with the NFL as we move away from this. Who said that the military and the flag is tied to fucking football? This is my issue. You did that. Why are you showing me? I don't. Why? Just play football.
One thing I agree with Cap. He said it's a lot of racism hidden in patriotism.
That's true. Oh, we fucking know that.
Patriotism.
They say nationalism now. That's the code word.
Tony Finn said something that's really important. What did you just say there?
Patriotism is racism.
Come on, Tony.
Because like now somebody tweeted that was like when you see somebody hanging a fucking American flag outside their house, you think it's some racist shit. You think they racist. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what we are now.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We can talk about racism and prejudices all night on our final topic of final topic of the night. Our brother Kareem Hunt, I think that's his name, was signed by the Cleveland Browns. After he was suspended by the league.
Not officially suspended.
Well,
this place on the commissioner's exemplar.
Okay, there it is. For domestic violence that was caught on tape. And we have Mr. Addison Russell, who did whatever he did to his wife. It's all alleged. He admits guilt in the way because it came out. Not really saying that he did anything wrong to her. So in our final topic, I want to discuss separating personal and business, especially for athletes. Martell, what are your thoughts on Kareem Hunt being fired from Kansas City because of what he did, whether he was intoxicated,
defending himself?
Defending himself. And that happens a lot, especially even with your wife. Men, we. Confession, we live right on camera.
I don't.
He's about to super indict us. We are victims of domestic violence as well, and not taking it seriously. So
that's why I'm going overtime.
This is exactly what I wanted to be on the final topic. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't feel it was right that he was released without a full investigation, and I think they were still investigating it when he was released. I understand that domestic violence, racism, it's all a sensitive topic right now, which makes sense. I respect that. I understand.
This is unapologetic. So
right. So we're going to be unapologetic. So with that being said, I think due diligence needs to always be done before you take somebody's livelihood away from them, what they worked hard for. You don't know what they had to endure, what they had to sacrifice, who they're feeding. And then you have the pundits or the critics will say he never deserved to be able to play football a day again in his life. Why is that so? That's his place of employment. He's making a living. Mm-hmm. When a city worker, a state worker, a federal worker commit this type of crime, most people don't even care. But let's say they are aware of it. Mm-hmm. Citizens pay their taxes. But even with that being said, they're not out boycotting saying that they should never work in that field again. You can't be an officer ever again. Right. You can't drive the bus ever again. However, when it comes to a celebrity, well, we have the option to pay towards their salary through attending a game or watching a game. Yeah. They should never be able to perform that again.
We go to a comment.
Mark Williams said KC folded under pressure. That's why they released him when they been knew about the footage.
Yeah.
That makes sense, and that's a whole other issue with politics in the sport. You know, and I think it was a good transition we just made. I think he was a good example for not only kids, just people in general, but also people in power. Like, if you believe in something, you got to stand on it. Mm-hmm. Some of those owners and some of those GMs probably had situations in their lives with women or whomever that they went through. Mm-hmm. Not that you support it, but that you understand and say, we're going to do due diligence. We care about the victim, we care about the public, but we also care about the people that we employ. When this is all said and done, we want everybody to grow from it and be better. We can't just decide who we're going to cut off and get rid of just to satisfy the public's outcry at the moment, when the next week they're going to be crying about something else.
You are a Cubs fan, and the elder Ricketts just got in trouble. Well, he got some flack for the email. They're not going to say, hey, okay, Dad, you can't come to the games, you can't do this, you can't do this, you got to stay away from everything. Cubs, now, they didn't do that. They said, oh, we weren't raised like that. Bull. So it really depends on.
It's just kind of reactive, and I don't want to get too off topic, but even you think about the whole Gucci situation. From a cultural standpoint, we got to stop being so reactive and want to all of a sudden get riled up and get disciplined and fight when something happened, and be proactive and have our own in every arena, so we competing. So in the event that something do happen, we already got processes of people in place. Okay, we're just going to eliminate them and show more love over here versus now everybody has to be on the same page, and some people don't understand, and some people don't agree.
I want to give just a tad bit, I want to stay on topic, but not particularly you, but I hate as black people that one thing about Asians, white people, Jews, Arabic, when they have an issue at the forefront and whoever's dealing with that issue, they let them deal with that issue. If a Jew disagree with, say he's fighting for a cause. If I'm a Jew, if I disagree, I'm gonna sit down and shut up. Because that's a cause. Black people, we always gotta give a million opinions and critique what we fighting for. If you don't agree, sit down, shut up, let us fight this. Because it might not be beneficial to you, but it can be beneficial for somebody that's way lower than you. And I hate that about black people, that we always gonna critique something. Just let it happen. If we want to boycott Gucci, if we want to boycott the NFL, let it happen. You disagree, do your own thing. Just shut up. That's my whole thing.
To piggyback on that, I agree, because not only do it shift the focus, it create a whole nother issue. You think about T.I. put out the song about Floyd. Nobody's even talking about what Gucci did. Now they're talking about what is Floyd gonna say back. Because now it's another black man going against another black man.
Shut up.
So it's like we just show how, even in trying to unite, we show how divided we are.
But back to the Kareem Hunt, we all know why he was released, because of who he hit. I think if it's on tape and you hitting him, you gotta go. You know what I mean? If it's physical evidence, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Like, period. That's the situation. It is.
So the question, and I think you hit on it, I want you to get specific, separate your personal from the business. So because it was on tape, he feels like it should go. Does that apply just because they are athletes on this big on this big platform, or does it apply to the police officer?
To me, it applies to anybody. Like, if you knocking your woman upside the head, if you raping somebody, if you indulging in anything like, especially if you hitting your wife. I don't care if you're a janitor. You need to lose because
You need to go to jail or you need to lose your job.
Going to jail.
That's business and personal.
But
That's the
you know what?
topic here.
It all depends on what you support. If I'm a business owner and if my janitor or if my vice president is knocking his wife upside the head, he got to go because I don't want that energy around me. And my wife ain't gonna want
But
that
most of the time, you don't know what's going on.
But I'm saying, but if it's brought to my attention,
okay.
if she's come to the job or if it comes to my attention and she's put on Facebook that John Smoke been knocking me upside my head, oh, you gotta go, bro.
But this is the person who's making the money to this job is providing for his family. So you take the job away. What makes you think that's going? It usually makes things worse.
Hey, but listen, if I'm late 10 times, I'm gonna lose my job. It's all self-inflicted.
Okay.
Hey, you gotta make better choices.
Okay.
And you know that's a no-no.
Okay.
You know that.
Okay.
Love what Tony just said. I think like to try to tie it in off these gentlemen feedback. He got released because he lied to Kansas City about it. So had he come clean, hypothetically, as you said, we don't know what Kansas City would have did, but I like what Tony said. Ray Rice changed the game. And to kind of get to the very end of my point, talking in reverse, is no way to separate business and personal with social media and cameras everywhere.
Yes.
So we've gone so far past remove of
I completely disagree with that because police officers don't get the same.
But as Tony said, if that police officer's wife decides to go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and say, Officer so-and-so is whooping my ass every day, it'll catch wind. We didn't know about the gay dude who called the black man a nigga in the cab in the lift. And he got fired from his job at the hospital. Exactly what you said. Someone wrote the hospital like, if these are the type of people you employ, I don't want anything to do with your company. They fired his ass.
But it happens through social media when you see racists saying things on camera. People email and flood their job. And they get fired.
That's true.
You know, and then it's different between like if I'm an accountant, right? And then you talk about an NFL player. This brand can be affected by person that's beating his wife every day. Women they come together. They gonna fit together. Oh no. Well, this job only maybe 30 or 40 people know what's going on. It's millions of people know, and they like no. But I agree with you. But that smacking a woman upside the head is just.
I'm 100% with Tony and saying like, once you hit a woman, I mean, I know men who personally whoop the shit out of their girlfriends.
Oh.
And I do. I mean, most of my friends are woman beaters, and I'm sitting in front of one of them. I was just fucking with you. I say 6'9". I mean, let's stop and then get down here. I don't know if it's anything that, as Tony said, like, that's your choice. Now, I'm being semi-serious. It is men who get their ass whooped in their relationship too. We just, on the macho tip, ain't gonna call it domestic. But we know women who will dip your bitch ass real quick. We're talking to sports, I want to talk normal. So, the difference between Addison Russell and her is the very word that you said, alleged. Well, Addison Russell, I don't know. So to lose his job, to be suspended for the remainder of y'all's season, it's unfair to me. Yes, but as much as that weak ass attack Kareem Hunt did, a little kick and a push, after saying, this bitch called me a nigga. You put me in the NFL, NBA, MLB, and you call me a nigga, woman, man, I don't know what I'll do to you. And then if you charge at me, woman, man, I don't know what I'm going to do to you, and then I might kick you. Should he have lost his job? Yes, because you lied. You might have should have got suspended, but once you lie, I don't owe you shit because you could have came clean. If you a janitor, police, fucking work at Walmart, we found out you whooping your woman ass, and it gets back to us like Tony said, bye. We want nothing to do with you because even if we like you, we just don't want it to affect our business. Now, the question I'm gonna leave Unapologetic Sports episode 2 with is, how far are we taking it? Because I don't want to work for CCA and CCA tell me I can't talk about pussy all day on my Facebook because that's just not a good look. You can't do that to me because I'm not contractually obligated. Why? That's crossing the line. And so now I work for you, but if I haven't broken any laws, you shouldn't control the content on any platform of my social media.
So let me ask you this, but you represent, like, would you want? That's like saying if you're a teacher, would you want your son or daughter's teacher on Facebook talking
I see it all the
X,
time.
Y, Z? Listen, I think that's unprofessional. Like, period. Like,
I think that after she get off the clock, she a person.
Right. I agree with you 100%. But that's like when y'all talk about police officers. So if a police officer in his personal life go home and say X, Y, and Z, what they really feel, they're gonna lose their job.
I would respect it if they did.
I know police officers who drive around blasting.
They should.
Hey,
No.
listen,
Oh, you know talking about drunk.
Listen,
Talking about
listen.
drunk.
But we talking.
I thought you were talking about
I'm talking about in
No,
the hall. I'm
I-
talking about hey, my bad. Let's leave that alone. But oh wow.
Oh wait, I called it.
Okay,
I
yeah,
called
but
it.
I'm talking about something like he's not gonna post that and be like sitting in the car drunk and shit. You know what I'm saying? Going
I
out.
don't care if you're a teacher, then you're a stripper. Who cares? It's
No,
true.
that's unrealistic though.
Yeah.
bro.
So,
I think it
very
depends on
realistic.
what it's not. No. I'm saying no. I'm not saying it's unrealistic for that.
I ain't no
Hey, check it out.
Okay.
I was gonna keep the camera this way.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's unrealistic. I'm not saying it's unrealistic for that to be the case. We know that happens. I'm saying it's unrealistic for them to actually broadcast that. So I think it depends on what your profession is. If you're a fucking engineer somewhere, nobody sees you day to day, versus a teacher that's supposed to kind of be an extension of your education, a role model. You don't know what your teacher, you know what I'm saying?
Martell, I can't agree with that. Now, I feel you, a teacher that's a stripper, but I know teachers who hide because they're in the club having a drink. Realistically, do I believe that this middle-aged woman is not drinking? Like, who am I as a parent? Who's doing that? I'm sipping my wine, watching my son teacher sip wine. Who the fuck? When
that's
become
because
a ruler? But according to Tony, he say it's not
What if
good
you saw
enough.
smoke some cocaine?
Now, that's something else.
No,
That's something else.
Public.
That's something
It's
else.
a public image.
It's public perception.
But look,
He said
we know teachers are, because we all know so many teachers. They are prime examples of they have to conduct themselves a certain way during the day in front of the kids and blah blah blah. Fine, but when they get off, we know that they doing. They running, they drinking, they get high, so they doing all type of stuff, but they still are effective in doing their job. And they probably, and we know a lot of females too, they probably beat their husband's ass. So why should they be punished for and lose their job? Everybody want to take something.
I agree.
We're gonna take this away from you.
And I hate that they will put the mirror in front of them. That's my biggest thing.
Okay, so you don't have a problem with that, right?
I because I know it's reality. Even with my children, I know that their teachers, when they can be racist.
That's their own lifestyle,
They
right?
can be racist.
But you have a problem with your pastor cheating on his wife
Hold on.
5 days a week, every week.
He don't go to church.
But he's so religious.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Deacon,
I'm going to ask you a question, and I think the time just really started.
Yeah.
No, I think that it's wrong. I think that it's wrong spiritually, religiously, morally. But I don't think that if my pastor is cheating on his wife
Publicly.
most of the time when you cheating, it's public.
Okay.
You know, I don't. It's not. I'll be lying to say.
Would
that
you
I-
advise him not to do that?
No, will he listen to his word on Sundays?
I would be lying to say that I wouldn't think about it while I see him, especially on the pulpit. However, I don't think that it affects his relationship with the Lord and that he can do his job.
Would you
lose any respect for him?
Tell him, he finished your cheese. I don't think that he can. I don't think he can be effective with his word and getting the word across.
Would you advise him not to do that if you was his advisor?
I don't need to advise.
No, but if you was
absolutely
his head deacon, would you advise him not to do
Absolutely.
that? Why? This is on
absolutely.
personal
Well,
time, right?
first of all, you're on the platform. And
teachers on the platform.
That's a completely different.
But that's something that you being biased though, because that's something that means more to you.
Both of you guys kind of took it and ran. I think, Tony, you got what I'm saying. Like when you say those cops went home and said, I'm really tired of other fucking cops killing black people. Why would I have a problem with that if I know that's what he's thinking?
No, I'm saying if you got cops, hold on.
Hold on. Let me
You
get
got
go to the
comments
comment over here. We got Will
We
Langston.
got
Will,
in it.
we got to talk, Will.
KC couldn't handle character issues to distract their season. They took a risk on T. Hill in the draft. It worked out, but remember, KC player committed murder/suicide about 7 years ago. Brian Cortez, Tony with the Fashion Nova jeans, my bad.
Tony Field. Brian.
I was just
Tony, you show up and show us your Fashion Nova jeans.
Hey, first of all, I have never in my life shopped in fashion.
I know Fashion Nova
Hey,
know they
hey,
did it.
but if y'all want to get a quick roasting session going on here,
no.
hey, we can get one
Hey,
going on.
Brian, I want you to know that he's hiding that left leg because that knee is very ashy. He keeps hiding it behind ashy thing over here.
I think my thing before we went to the comments was I don't want it to be as extreme as your pastor cheating, doing coke. It's right along the lines of what Tony was saying. Words being posted or having something simple that can be misconceived or taken personally. Like cheating and doing drugs and shit. Just by default, you be like, okay, you can't do that. But me talking about pussy all day, as you say, why is that a change in me being a fucking teacher? Why is that?
Why? Listen, perception.
Two plus two and pussy.
Perception is.
You can't be talking about
Hey, unapologetic. These are their personal opinions.
terms
It does
of
not
the show,
reflect unapologetic.
What you saying,
Perception is a reality. I think when you're in the public light, right, in certain jobs, you have to carry yourself a certain way
Okay.
on a public forum. Now, how you do when you with your friends is different.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's certain ways you got to carry yourself. Me personally, I can't get on my social media and do certain things like you could do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know it can be consequences of how you receive. The one person can get it, they can say this is wrong, this is how you feel 24 hours a day. They can't separate
I get it.
Antoine from this and that. They can't do that.
I get it.
So you got to play the role.
Dude, how do you feel about it? You understand that you playing the role, but you're not telling me how you feel about
I mean,
it.
sometimes it's annoying, but it is what it is if you want to get to that bag.
And I can respect it right there.
It's
Your
what it
cost
is.
is to keep getting the
They
money
both
you
did.
getting. But you're not saying that you don't understand what I'm saying. Like, how am I employed to you off the clock? That's all I'm thinking. Like, I understand my representation as I say crack and whooping your wife ass and a stripper, but I'm talking about pussy.
Just like my homie say, man, hey,
He y'all not friends
he
anymore.
on some freaky stuff, boy.
No, I just,
He's serious.
I have my moments.
What do you do, your manners here?
I do things. We can't say everything.
Okay, my bad. Well, I don't. But
No,
so over with.
but see, this is why, like I say, any job that I ever had, I would never let Facebook know. So where I would set myself up is why would my job know what I'm doing social? If I was a teacher, I'm not gonna say I work at John Hope Elementary.
Yeah, get to it.
And they wouldn't, and that's on my problem. You went looking for me.
People gonna find you.
And those people, this is where my fight goes on to say, I told little Amari everything he needed to know. And had you not looked at Facebook, I was the best teacher here. Soon as you found my Facebook page, now I don't qualify. That's why I do feel good when he said the pastor. It's like whatever that man did, if his teaching still go directly to me, how do one and the two connect?
So let me ask you a question. So you mean to tell me that what a person does in their personal life doesn't account for how you view them? Like
It does, but it doesn't affect
doesn't.
They can still do their job effectively.
We listen to music, we wear designer clothes, we drive. If we dig deep on everything that we affiliated with, we probably won't want to be associated with. So why do we pick and choose, as he said? I don't know what Jerry Reinsdorf do. Because I don't give a fuck either. I like the White Sox. If I found that Jerry Reinsdorf he hate fucking black people, and on the spot, I'm like, oh shit. But am I really gonna stop watching the Sox to go back to Kaepernick? I hated what they did. I'm not gonna stop watching the Eagles. I want to be like, man, it is what it is, and I didn't ask for it.
Yeah. I was same thing with the Bears. I did that first year. I didn't watch. I didn't go to the game.
That's
But
self-discipline.
once the
Right,
Bears,
everybody not like that though.
once the
I
Bears-
know. I'm
once the
real
Bears
with
got
mine.
good,
I'm real with mine.
That's
But you
self-discipline.
can't.
Cause you,
I don't know if that's the right word to use because if you saying you real with yours, you're basically saying other people not real.
no. I'm
They
real
not
with, okay,
authentic.
so I shouldn't have said it that way. I've come to peace
That's what's
with
real
the
for
choice
you.
I'm making. If I limit it to this, anything from the food we eat to the clothes we wear to the activities we partake in, if you put a fine-tooth comb over everybody that's affiliated with, you will find something you don't want to know
But
about.
that's not
but-
realistic though. That's not realistic to look at everything holistic like that. That's not realistic. You look at things on a day-by-day basis, a person-by-person basis, and that's how we view and judge things. That's how we do it every day. So to say like nitpicking this, like that's not your concern because you're not interacting with Jerry Reinsdorf
Okay.
unless something comes out in the public. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like that's not realistic, bro.
The Clippers owner lost his team over some shit that I never would have known if that woman didn't release
Okay,
it.
but listen,
But she did though.
But
Oh,
you
no.
know,
All information is not discovered by somebody going to find it. Something.
Now, and I
things
give you
are
that.
coincidence.
But as
So
Tony,
you have to prepare for if that coincidence actually happened.
I agree with you, but Tony said in the case that I would never list my job and my job came to find out what I'm saying on Facebook, would you take up for me or side with the job? Because I did my
what
job.
are you doing?
I'm posting about pussy all day, but I can teach great math.
What up?
I can teach great math.
What are you posting about? If you posting pictures of it, if
No,
you-
that's
Why does it matter?
anything.
Listen,
anything.
if my son teacher is on
Why your son
Hold
friends
on,
with me?
hold on.
Sorry.
If you teaching my daughter, right, and you come across as a pervert on social
I hear
media,
you.
as a father, I'm gonna feel some type of way. I'm gonna feel like this perverted dude got my 15, 16-year-old daughter teaching her math, and all he do is talk about posting pictures, comparing this and this, talking about we just got up. And me, as a parent,
I get why you.
I'm gonna feel some way. If I'm not a parent, I'm gonna sit there and laugh at it. But as a parent, I'm like,
But look at
I
your
don't know
bias
this
now.
weirdo.
You just showed your bias.
Fact.
If it wasn't your daughter, you gonna
Hold on, we
laugh.
all have biases. We live with biases.
Exactly, but so how you gonna judge me knowing you got biases within them?
Because everybody in this world have bias.
It's not really a judgment. It's an observation, and it's coming to a conclusion which he can't do.
He got the
But
right.
I disagree. I mean, what you said is possible, but it's not probable. You said that if the pastor can still project and still teach in a way that it impacts you, it don't really matter what his personal life is like or what's out there. The fact of the matter is, we trust people when we believe who we think they are, what that image is. We trust people that we respect. So if the respect is lost, whether you think it should be lost or not, because you might not give a fuck, like, I still respect you.
I mean,
That don't
you
mean the
know what
next
you do.
person don't. When that respect and that trust is lost, then that relationship is somewhat
That would
damaged.
be your relationship, but the
But
line is wrong.
But we're
now.
talking about the general public.
So,
Like, you know what I'm saying?
let me ask you
You
a question.
looking at it kind of from a personal standpoint.
I think because if you look
Right,
if you look at it right now, it's 2 versus 2.
Can I ask you a question?
If you went with everything, it's always gonna be somebody who see his way, your way, my way, his way. And for who's to say that he should keep his job or lose it? We should just leave it alone because before that, he was doing his job as a teacher, a pastor, and I forgot what your.
Let me ask you a question. Is there people in this world that you have encountered and still encounter to this day that is where you know certain things about them that you don't want to be, you don't want to be involved with, so you distance yourself from them. And 2 is people in your life that you accept some of their shortcomings, right? And listen, and you deal with it, but you still look at it in your mind from a biased opinion. You still might be around them, but you still have this form of like feeling. So it's genuine, but it's really not. So I say that to say that as a human, when we get information, we take it, we process it, like Tail said, we come up with a conclusion. And what we do with it is what we do with it. And it's either we accept it or we don't accept it. I can't he can't walk in this room and be like, man, I just got done smacking my girl upside the head. And I'll be like, damn, I can't rock a buddy. I don't want that energy around me. You see what I'm saying? So if I see my son teacher doing that, I'm gonna think the same thing. Like I'm gonna come up with my conclusion regardless of what type of man he is. She could just be that freaky mom, but
what I'm learning now is to separate, the spiritual part of things and the personal, the human part of things.
What does that mean?
And the business part of things. I think that each you
No,
have to be.
what does that mean?
What it means is like what we're saying. If I'm not gonna break the bro code. We got a bro code show
coming
up. We have friends that do certain things, but because that's a sensitive spot for us, and we're biased, we're going to accept certain things that they do, and we're going to overlook, and you're still going to be their friend. You're not going to want, you know that your friend is beating up his wife. You're not going to say, hey, I'm not going to be your friend no more. You should lose your job. You should do this. I'm going to take you to the police. Come on, we going to the police. You're not going to do that. So why? Because these are athletes, or these are pastors, or these are leaders. Even though you know they're doing it, and I believe in reform as well. Why say, hey, your job, you're done?
Hey,
I don't think that that's right.
Me personally, I'm not gonna be around nobody this is my right hand man. If he beating his wife, I can't be around him like that. Because first of all, I don't condone it. Second of all, that's not the person I know. And third of all,
people change.
Hold on. Third of all, that's my friend, bro. And I'm telling him that he's still doing it, that means I'm cool with his wife or his girl. Like, that's just out of pocket. Mm-hmm. Our relationship has to change. It has to shift because you can't condone it.
But could you put him on high and dry?
No. I just said I wouldn't just say no. I ain't rocking. What I'm saying is that we're gonna talk.
Absolutely.
And if you continue to do it, I can't have that energy around me because first of all, why are you doing it?
Exactly.
And it's like me. I can't be around them. I don't take care of their kids.
Oh, yeah, and that's another show. You talking all the shows we talking. No, I love it.
We can't even make Unapollagetic 3.0. We only got Mondays. But go ahead. Let's talk about that now.
Well, here's the thing as we wrap up this show, because we would do this all night, and these are two of the best guests we've had. Yeah. Even though we only got 2 episodes, but y'all still the best until further notice. I'm just saying.
You'll be coming back.
You'll be back. I feel that your point is valid. Why is it that it's okay for you to talk to your friend to calm her down from being a wife beater? But like Gil would say, that first time we know you did coke, get him the fuck out of there. That first time you saw my freak post, he fired. I wasn't awarded that same privilege because you as a parent felt away. You didn't come to me and say, man, Mr. Reed, man, I saw this. And I'm going to be defensive first. But like you said, we you know what? Maybe to me, it didn't dawn on me that it would get back to you and connect those dots. You wanted me gone. When just yesterday,
look, and if your guy you married and he take care of his family, he have a baby out of wedlock, and he can't take care of his baby like that, you're not gonna stop talking to him.
First of all, ain't no such thing. If you have a baby out of wedlock, I don't care what the circumstances is. If you have a baby, period, you gotta man up. Eventually take care. I'm gonna tell my friend, man up. You can't sacrifice. You can't do dirt and then sacrifice this child's life. Because you're too scared to face your wife. That's ridiculous.
But will you still be his wife? Because like your strong moral compass, he did something against a friend, his wife that's your friend. No, now do you get in that?
Listen, I'm going to put pressure on him to take care of his kid. Point blank, period. Now, he can choose to tell his wife or not. Now, am I going to be like, nah, he ain't my friend no more? Nah. But I'm going to look at him sideways and I'm going to say slick shit. Because a man that don't take care of their kids is a man you can't trust.
I can, but we want you to focus on because he's coming right.
I can't trust her.
No, but take the kid away. He's doing for the kid. You said if he was whooping his woman ass, you saw her as your friend, your sister. He just cheated on her. Do you still have that same talk with him?
If he cheated on him?
If he cheated, do you
If he cheated, listen, hold on.
He cheated on him?
It ain't.
No, but the question was when he was whooping his wife ass, you had to have a talk with him. Because you say, I'm close with her. I look at his sister. Now he cheated on her. Do you have that same talk to him?
Listen, hold on. I would tell him like, man, bro, if you got a great woman, why risk it all? Now, if he decided to keep cheating on her, hey, bro, hey, man, hey, listen, you stop. Hey,
you gotta ask him. Let me move it, That's
not fair.
He picked the shoes when he got in.
That's not fair.
Unapologetic Friday.
Check it out. The biggest thing that comes from this conversation is that we all have biasness towards different things,
Correct.
which leads toward different levels of tolerance. Different things.
Correct.
Yeah. So if you my son or daughter's teacher, right? Let's say she in high school and you her tutorer. You a teacher and her tutorer. Which means y'all, your tutor.
He said with the ER. I got it.
Twice.
Y'all meet after school twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
I pay you an amount to meet with her.
Okay.
In the confines of a private room, office. So now I trust
All
you,
these
right?
shows are lasting 2 hours.
That's the relationship we have. You're educated. This is my child. I trust you. I pay you. So if I find out you freaky deaky, you mess with, you got a reputation for messing with teenage girls and you in your late 30s, everything else besides that, now our relationship is
But
dead.
you made it extreme. I just said I'm talking about pussy. Women my age, I'm not talking about your daughter. He had a
So
conception.
you're just adamant about that one example.
Because it was like because I would use this. I promise we're gonna go watch us every other Monday doing Sports Circle with live on Mondays Unapologetic. 2 winners on TJ and Deshaun. TJ said us on Friday and tomorrow
This the only
Unapologetic
camera that's
presents.
on.
That's perfect. Unapologetic presents Kinglish.
But
All right.
I have to make
I made it light.
Let me tell you why I
gotta
have to make
say.
it straight. Okay, I'm gonna make it that straight. I'm gonna make it that
I'm gonna
straight.
make it
One at
light.
a time.
Steve Harvey had the nerve to tell women what women think about rock, but he cheated on his wife. So if we use that concept a lot, because I don't want to make it be pedophile and all that shit. I'm saying personal biases. Do you
Shut
now
up.
say
This is
I
stupid.
found out he cheated his damn?
This ain't even sports no
Fuck
more.
what he
This
talking
Oprah.
about.
Keep it down.
I just
Oh, shut up.
We cannot have the same. We can't take the same approach on every situation. You can't look at it black and white.
So right, once you put me in your daughter,
So nobody does that.
This is Ivana. This is Iyana fix my life. This is Ayala fix my life.
Give us 30 seconds. The reason why when you talking about cheating, right?
Mm-hmm.
If my friend decides to cheat, right? That's totally different than him not taking care of his child and beating that woman. Is it cheating? Wrong. Yes. Point blank period is wrong.
Sin is sin.
But yeah, I mean, you're Jehovah's Witness, so you got different values.
Not a Jehovah's.
Oh, Seventh-day Adventist.
Holy. We're gonna wrap up. With the people I get arrested. But listen.
Ain't no people.
What?
No, I just
What about if Twan is cheating on his wife with the teacher?
No, wait. First of all, no. This
That type of stuff happens.
No, but you use a personal example.
No, I'm not saying.
Yeah, I know what you said, but no, don't answer that
because I just saw earlier.
But that type of stuff happens. I know of it, and it's like, come on,
and
she don't lose her job.
Only,
she can't lose her job.
The only reason it's just so hard to nitpick Twan is because, like I say, between us four, I know you as much as I know you in this chat. I don't know what you do when you leave. I can call you, he cool, but I don't know until I know.
But you know me. You know I'm the same person here, and I'm the same person outside.
You're not as spiritual as you think, but that's another show.
It's certain principles it's certain core principles that you live by, that you're willing to tolerate and
the
not
kids
tolerate.
I'm with you with.
Yeah, I mean, period. So it's certain things that my friend can do that's wrong that I disagree with that I just accept. But it's certain things that as me and you just can't tolerate.
And beating and
not taking
that is solidified. But I said once you open up one door, who say I gotta stop? And that's why I say this conversation could go forever. Because like I say, people nitpick. And as I say, to wrap it up and bring it back to sports, Addison Russell wrong, Kareem Hunt right. That's when it do become black and white. Off your word, I saw it. Addison Russell, I didn't. Do due diligence, like Martell said. With Addison Russell, Kareem Hunt, you lied, number one, and then we saw you hit the damn white girl. Ain't nothing to talk about.
March 4th, we'll return with another episode of Unapologetic Sports with Sir Goodwood Live. We want to thank our special guest tonight, representing Lock Nation, Martell Craig, Tony Finn in the building. They harass us on our show, but they support and thank you for making it out. White Sox, Antonio S.C. Breed, the king of Unapologetic, the voice, the bass.
So yeah.
thanks for making it out as well.
You
We'll
already
see
know.
you on tomorrow or Wednesday or Friday.
Tomorrow, I
Something
will.
like that. I'm Sir Goodwood Live. Thank you all for tuning in. We're gonna, cause I gotta show you something, so we are gonna cut this right now.